Welcome to the second installment of the UC Student Regent video blog. Our title is Meet Your Student Regents.
Your UC, your issues, your voice.
Boom.
Please don't say that on camera. I'm Jonathan Stein. I'm the Student Regent Designate.
My name is Alfredo Morales. I'm the current UC Student Regent.
Thank you for joining us for the second one of these. Before we begin, we always like to talk about the ways that you can contact us. We're on Twitter at UC Student Regent. Alfredo has his personal Facebook page.
I do.
I have my public figure Facebook page. I'm not over being embarrassed about that yet.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe at some point I will be.
You started liking it when you post it to get people to join it.
We have a website, ucstudentregent.com. And lastly, we have a new YouTube channel. You're probably watching this on the YouTube channel, so we won't tell you how to find it. Next, we're going to go into two agenda items each that we're working on right now.
So let me start. So the first is we are doing, as we mentioned last time, we're doing a rally on May 17th. However, there is some changes in the works right now, but there will still continue to be opportunities for students to participate, but stay tuned. We will get that information to you as soon as we know. The second thing I'm working on is the changes that have been happening at the student health centers. We talked about this a bit last time as well, but these are big changes, and I'm working on getting students to be more involved at the senior level of decision making, and secondly, getting a one-page document that helps students understand how these changes affect them.
Yeah, it's important stuff. What I'm working on. So I mentioned last week that I'm working on Unite, a system-wide student steering committee on campus climate. It's a space, it's really almost an informal workspace for students who are working on campus climate issues on every campus to come together with students who work on campus climate issues on other campuses, to share best practices, to share ideas, to share strategies, frustrations, etc. And hopefully to push for system-wide changes to our campus climate policy. Secondly, I'm doing a lot of research right now about funding models for public universities in other countries, in Africa and Europe and so on. So that's ongoing. Next up, next week.
Last week, Jonathan and I both attended the Student Lobby Conference in Sacramento, where we did lobby trainings, we led workshops, we met individually with student leaders, and had an absolute blast.
SLC is awesome. I really recommend you go if you have the opportunity to. It should be free, paid for by your student government. You can see students' political consciousness blooming over the course of the weekend. It's great.
That was my fourth Student Lobby Conference.
My third.
And I'm going to find a way to get there next year somehow. So March 5th, we took part in this tremendous rally. Over 10,000 students attended. It was awesome, and I totally got warm fuzzies from it, and I think we really made our impact known in the Capitol. We did lobby visits with individual legislators. We attended a post-conference reception. I met with the UCSF Chancellor. I got the opportunity to speak at a panel about the master plan at UCLA yesterday, which was fantastic. We met with UCSA leadership, talking strategy, and then did a conference call about the Student Health Center. Next week, we're doing a conference call with President Yudof and the Council of Presidents. We're doing multiple conference calls about the May 17th rally. Jonathan will be serving on the Provost Selection Committee. He will also be meeting with external affairs people here at Berkeley. And then he and I both have a meeting with the two faculty representatives.
What are their names?
Who both happen to be named Bob.
So the next segment, per the usual, is student questions. You can submit questions to us via Twitter or Facebook, or through our website. The first question comes from Joelle Gamble, the External Vice President at UCLA. She wants us to address an incident of hate that happened at UCLA this past week.
Sure, let me take that. So, unfortunately, there were actually two incidents of hatred in the recent past. The one, there was a misogynistic and anti-Latino action off campus, but within the UCLA community. And another was an anti-Semitic incident at UC Riverside. Look, these cannot be tolerated. It shows that we have a long way to go at the UC to make sure all students feel welcome, and it's stuff that makes Jonathan and I sick.
And I hope that Unite, the system-wide steering committee on campus climate, meant exclusively for students, can be part of the solution of these things in the future. So UCLA students who are unsure how to respond, or Riverside students who are unsure of how to respond, can go to Unite and speak to Davis students or Berkeley students or Santa Cruz students who have dealt with incidents like this effectively in the recent past and form their community response. The second question came from UC Berkeley alum Kevin Stein, also my brother. He wants to know what we make of Chancellor Bergenow stepping down at the end of the year. Chancellor Bergenow is the UC Berkeley chancellor. So here's what I'd say about Chancellor Bergenow. He's a thoroughly progressive man, publicly supports reform of Prop 13, repeal of Prop 209, was the leader amongst administrators and in the institution for the California DREAM Act. He supports more student representation on the Board of Regents, which is a rare position amongst people in his position, and meets regularly with student leaders and brings student leaders at UC Berkeley into the decision-making process at a high level. All of that said, November 9th was a disaster, and it was under his leadership, and UC Berkeley has had a really problematic police response to protests for several years now, which students aren't going to forget. And so, something of a mixed bag. I've appreciated working with him. He was sort of the progressive chancellor a progressive school needed, and we'll see who we have as his replacement. That's all we have. Thank you so much for joining us on our second episode of Meet Your Student Regents. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We need to sign off.
Thanks so much.
Tweet us with a sign off.
Send some questions. We want to answer your questions.
Take care.